There are few human beings on earth who have left a bigger impression than 7'6" former NBA player Manute Bol.
I was like, wow, you know, you tall.
And without even, jumping, just touch the rim like, hey, yeah, I'm just stretching.
When he was in the game, people had to take notice where he was. And if they didn't, he could block shots better than anybody I've seen since Russell.
The fact that Manute Bol was one of the great shot blockers in the history of the NBA is but a footnote in a life story that is truly remarkable. Having never heard of America, let alone basketball, until the age of 18, the native of Darfur, Sudan, found himself under the bright lights of the NBA less than 6 years later. Yet however far this true warrior may have been from home, the Sudan was always who Manute Bol was.
One of his duties was to kill a lion with a spear by himself. And so he took the spear out at age 13 or 14 and found this lion and killed him with a spear, if you can imagine, all by himself. And I said, that's unbelievable. He said, it wasn't so hard, the lion was sleeping.
Yeah, that could be true. If you kill a lion with your bare hands, that's tough.
I helped him rent a house in the Bay Area, and it was a nice house. Anyway, I got a complaint from the owner that said he actually wasn't using the kitchen, but he was cooking in the fireplace. And so his living room was quite messy.
Despite overwhelming cultural differences, Manute Bol silenced critics who felt the skinny center would crumble under the strength and power of the NBA. His game eventually progressed to the point where Manute began shooting from beyond the arc.
He could kind of slingshot that three up there, and he'd make, not a bad percentage for a center anyway.
Don Nelson was like, okay, we'll implement it into the offense. And he implemented it into the offense, but then we had trouble because we couldn't get Manute to stop shooting threes. He didn't want to take anything else but a three-point shot.
Bol takes it, he wants it again. Good!
Being a professional athlete in America brings with it fame and wealth that is unheard of in Manute's homeland, a war-torn nation where his people have suffered the brutality of genocide for over a decade. There was never a second thought of where Manute would spend his newfound NBA fortune.
One of his goals was to help out his people, and he's pretty determined into helping out others. Just feels like he doesn't need all his success for himself.
Basically, he went to his country and gave all his money to his country to try to help make it better.
And we always hear the word that you can't help everyone. Manute tried to do that.
Manute's efforts have extended far beyond his playing years, swallowing his pride in various publicity events to raise money to save the desperate lives of his people.
I want to be like getting my people out in trouble. And I am the one God was giving resources in my hand. So if I don't do it, ain't nobody else.
This past June, his efforts came to a screeching halt. Attempting to return to his home in Hartford, Connecticut, he took a cab ride that would drastically alter his life.
So what I did, I went sleep, I think, in the back seat. I'm in the back seat. No seat belt on, because I sit across. Next thing I know, I find myself in the hospital about a month later.
The cab driver, who was driving under the influence of alcohol, lost control of his car, killing himself and leaving Manute fighting for his life. A broken neck, severe head lacerations, and a left arm that was nearly amputated hospitalized Manute for 3 months. Neither the cab company nor Manute possessed adequate health insurance, leaving a man who had given away millions with a seemingly insurmountable debt.
Manute was involved in a horrific automobile accident, and he had fell on hard times financially, over the course of time, over the course of his career, because of his donations back to his homeland.
With his and his family's health in jeopardy, the call has gone out for help. Former teammates have jumped to aid their friend, but there is certainly a long way to go for the Sudanese freedom fighter.
He's going through an awful hard time right now, and I think whatever we can do to help Manute Bol, we should do.
He's in tough times. He need us.
You just rally, and I think he's a teammate in need, and we're just rallying, and hopefully we can just get his spirits together and get him back up and running like he always did.
But I cannot complain to God because you already tell me I didn't die.